Hi everyone! This video will be dedicated to books where I hadn't started to color yet, and also to the books where I don't know how to color. And this one is first example. It's Ukrainian edition of the book and paper is awful. It reacts bad with watercolor mediums, it bleeds through, and watercolor also ruins surface of the paper. So after I tried it, I put the book away because when I purchased it, I didn't have acrylic or gouache paints, which probably I could use on this paper. The other thing which I don't like here is black lines. I don't know why they left so many black lines after they transformed uh, pictures from the TV series into the pictures in the book. For me, I definitely prefer to mask all black lines and I don't need them to show me where will be highlighted and shadow areas, especially on faces. So I need to invent something how to hide all those black lines. I love Sherlock TV series and I generally love pictures in the book apart from the paper and black lines. So maybe one day I will try to color in it with acrylic paints. My second book is by Molly Harrison and it's grayscale, and again I don't know how to color in it. I tried here watercolors for the background, but on top of the gray underpaint, everything is looking quite dull, not very bright. I don't like how watercolors cover gray background, and even my pencils look quite dull and not enough bright. I already mentioned 10 times that I am not a huge fan of grayscale books. They are not very interesting to me and I simply don't know how to color them in order to get beautiful result. So for now this book will be waiting. Next books are empty yet, but only because I purchased them only recently in October and in November, and during that time I was more occupied with Halloween colorings and then with winter and Christmas colorings. I am sure that in January, when I will be tired from winter and Christmas pictures, I will immediately start to color in these books because I really love them and they are in my top list of my favorite books. The same thing goes to the Norse mythology, which I purchased only recently and it arrived only a couple of days ago. The next book by Gugeli I received several months ago and I even selected a couple of pictures which I want to use as a start as a test pages for different mediums, but again I didn't have enough free time to actually start coloring in it. I want to start from simpler picture in order to feel paper and to decide which brand of pencils will behave better here. I really hope that at least somewhere in February I will actually start to color in it. You know that it's a strange thing. In this list of my untouched books, I have a lot of my favorites, which designs I definitely prefer much more of many comparing to many books in which I color quite frequently. And I also don't think that I'm afraid to actually start to color. Maybe I was a little bit intimidated by many details, but in the same time I love very detailed pictures. So I simply can say to myself that I need to declare February probably as a month of untouched books and I need to start coloring in all my favorite books which I hadn't started yet. I think that it's a good idea. In both books by Nick Filbert, I also selected pictures which I want to color. I simply actually need to start coloring. The next book is my huge problem. First, after I purchased it, I was slightly disappointed that I prefer second and third parts much more. For me, they are more interesting. Next, when I received it, I already saw so many beautiful pictures finished by other colorists and also many interesting tutorials that somehow I was already full of this book and I didn't want to color it by myself. And also, I wasn't quite happy how my pencils behaved on this paper. I tried watercolors also, but watercolors somehow looked quite dull and not very bright, and I also don't know why they behave in this way. But now, when I look at this book, I think that I need to give it a second chance because here we have a lot of very nice, very sweet pictures. I especially love pictures with shops and cafe. You know what I think? That probably my Arteza pencils could be nice on this paper, so I think that I will try them here. So far, I only have here a couple of pictures which I started. I wasn't very happy how pencils layered and mixed, so I totally didn't want to proceed with coloring them. So we will see how Arteza will behave on this paper. The next book I love with all my heart. It's perfect. I love designs, I love quality of the paper, which will be perfect for watercolors and for pencils, but I simply promised myself that I won't touch this book until I will finish my flower year. So it will be waiting because I intend to keep my promise. I know that probably such a promise sounds stupid, but I really hope that in this way I will quicker finish flower year and I will be able to switch to Floribunda. Next, I have two books by Katerina Bobarikina. Spirit of the Past I received only a couple of days ago, and in Ethna Spirit I started to do my underpaint on one of the portraits with watercolors, and then I don't know why, but I decided to start coloring skin with alcohol based markers, and I used totally wrong color, and I was quite disappointed. So I decided to put the book away for some time. I know that I am probably capable to cover part of the body which I don't like. I can use colored pencils and to mask this arm and to work on the details of this picture. I simply need some time to get over my disappointment in my wrong choice of the medium which I used for this picture. The next book was one of my first purchases on Book Depository, so more than 3 years ago, and so far I only started one picture in it. I still like its designs very much, and I really like paper in Creative Heaven, so I really don't have any explanations. Again, I think that I can use probably alcohol based markers here to create some kind of personal challenge to use mediums which I don't use quite often in other books, and in this way I can start coloring in this book. Another one of my favorite artists is Zan Von Zed, and I'm quite happy that I was able to get this magazine. I especially like old designs which looks like medieval pictures, and I even selected and invented colors for many of them. I just simply hadn't started to color them yet. I think that in this video you will hear it quite often that I simply can't explain why I don't color in these beautiful books which I still really like and they are in my top list of favorite books. And the same goes for the designs of Anne Stokes. And each winter time I think that there are many beautiful winter pictures here, and I never have enough free time to actually color them. At least I did a couple of Anne Stokes pictures in smaller size on the postcards, but I really want to color that girl with snowflakes and also this girl with wolves. I really want to use acrylic paints for the background and pencils, so I have many plans, but not enough free time to color in each and every of my books. The next book, The Day We Finally Met, is a real gemstone of my collection. I'm totally in love with designs, and I started to do in it winter pictures, but as I am quite afraid to ruin it, I started not from my favorite Christmas picture, but from one simpler one. I very rarely start from my favorite pictures. I prefer to start from not bad, but not my favorite, in order to test paper and to test various mediums. I did the same thing here, so I hope probably in a week or maybe in 2 weeks I will be able to show my first finished picture here. Next, I have 3 pictura books and all are by my favorite illustrators. I think that probably I don't start to color in them because I constantly say to myself that you already started that English house book and at least do couple of pictures there and then you can start to do these pictures. You know that in the book we have one but very long picture, so actually if you start to color it you will need to somehow proceed with several pictures at least to have some result. So probably my excuse for this book is that I really want to have some progress in the English home book and then I will be coloring in these 3 books. Well, and the last one is this book by Rita Berman, which I got in the beginning of the autumn and then I again didn't have enough free time. I planned to color in it during fall season, but then I got Autumn Scents by Teresa Goodrich, and I think that style of Teresa Goodrich is much more for my style of coloring, much more for my taste. So I switched first to Autumn Scents, and then it was time to color Halloween pictures. So again, during fall, I didn't have enough free time and to color in this book during winter or spring or summer, it's not very interesting. So I'm afraid that this beautiful book will have to wait until the next fall. So there were my empty, clean books. And now I also want to attach some info about books which I want to add to my collection because it's quite often question which I receive. Of course, I want to purchase new books by Hannah Carson and Kerber Razanes, which we are awaiting for this spring. By Jade Summer, I want to purchase these 4 books. They are quite similar in style to the Norse mythology, which I got, so I really like them. By Selina Fennick, I love absolutely everything apart from unicorns and those fleur d'orables, so small fairies, and all other books I really want to add to my collection. And the same things goes to Teresa Goodrich. I really want all her books. I enjoy coloring in them so much. I also want a couple of these fantasy books by Herb Leonhardt. I know that they are printed on quite thin paper, but designs are so pretty that I hope that one day I will be able to purchase them. The next book is Alice by Martin Nobles. I ordered it 2 times from Book Depository already, and both books were somewhere lost, so I am completely disappointed. Next book is quite difficult to get. It's available only in Amazon UK, but book is absolutely beautiful. The next book is Day of the Dead by Maura Mazzara, and it's the best book for this theme which I've seen, but it's also quite difficult to get because it's not available on Book Depository. I'm also thinking about purchasing a mouse guard book, but I think that I need to concentrate on starting to color in my clear empty books because they are really beautiful and there are so many beautiful and inspiring pictures in them. Anyway, thank you for your time. Thank you for listening to my complaints about lack of free time and about any particular reasons why I don't color in my lovely books. Thank you and until the next videos.